Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations of Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'd like to do something that everybody is extremely familiar with. It is a beautiful sunflower, and I'll show you how to make that from start to finish. I'll show you the types of clay that we can use. There's this oil-based clay which never hardens. You can make things over and over again. This is the one I used to use all the time as a kid. You know, when I got bored with something, then I make new stuff. There's also this air hardening clay, which can be bought in any art store. It hardens like in a couple hours or overnight, and then the great thing about this is once it hardens, you can paint it. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be fired in the oven about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. It never hardens until you actually fire it in the oven, and it's a great clay to work with. I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight. For the petals of the flower, I have a small ball like this, and then for the actual center of the flower, I have this size ball of clay. For the two leaves, I have this size, and then for the stem, I actually have this right here. The first thing that we're going to do, as I'll show you on the sunflower, is we want to do the round center right here, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to take this piece of clay here. It's round, nice and round, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on. Tonight I have a piece of paper I'll show you because it's going to make it a little easier for me to pick it up and show it to you. I'm going to take this piece of clay and just kind of press down like this, just like that. See how I'm doing that? See how that looks now? It's nice and round, it's nice and flat. The next thing I want to show you how to do is, see the petals of the flower that surround the center of the flower? I'll show you how to do one of those petals. We're going to take a piece of clay about this size, and I'm going to flatten it out with my fingers like this. See how I'm doing this? I'm flattening that out, and then I'll show you the shape that we want. We want to make almost like a diamond shape like that. See how I'm doing that? Squeeze it with your fingers like that. Make it flat. So this is the shape of the petal that you want. See that? See how flat it is? And I want to give that some texture. So what I have here tonight is I have tin foil. You can buy this, you know, in the supermarket or a drugstore, and when you crumble it up, and then what I'm going to do is take this and just kind of scrape it like this a little bit to give it some nice texture. And then you do it from the other side. And what I do is I'm creating some little lines for texture in that clay. What we want to do is we want to make up about 17 of these, and we'll put them on the flower. And now that I've made the 17 petals, I have placed 12 around the center of the flower, as you can see. The other 5 we'll put on later. The way to attach these now is I'll show you. You take the tool and you push the clay up against the You push this the clay up against like this. And then I'll show you how to do another one. Do the same thing. And what you're going to do is you're going to follow that process and attach all 12 petals in the same manner. And now that we've attached all 12 petals from the top, I want to flip this over, and we want to attach them from the bottom. So what you'll do is you'll take the tool and work it from this side. See how I'm doing that? And you'll attach them this way. Work the clay together from this side, just like that. And you do all 12 petals in the same manner. And now that I have attached all the petals from behind, I'm going to flip it back over and we'll put it flat on the table again. And I'll show you to do with the 5 additional petals that we still have. What I'm going to do is just attach like one there. You know, every few you can go over. Put that there. One there. See, I'm doing that, and I'm just kind of pushing the clay in. And we'll take the other two, and I'll put one there. You know, it doesn't matter where you place them, just kind of spread them apart. Do that. And I would just kind of push down on it a little bit like that, because that will help to, so they adhere to the other petals. And see how we did that? And now what we're going to do, the next step is, I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to kind of push that in at the center, like that. You kind of make a circle, just like that. I'll show you with this. What we're doing is, when I made that imprint, see where I've painted the green here? We're going to make a texture here, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to take the tool here. Now that it's a very fine tool that I like using. You can use a toothpick like this if you want. Like this toothpick is one of those flat end toothpicks. So you have the sharp end on this side and you have the flat end here. What you can do is you can take and just kind of tap it like this. You don't want to, you just want to just go ever so lightly on it. And it gives it a nice texture. Now what we'll do, I'll show you. I'll pick that up. See, I just made some slight indentations in the center like that. See how nice that looks? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the toothpick again, and I'm going to push that even deeper into the center of the flower. But we're going to do it on the outer edges. So I'm going to take the toothpick like this and do this. See how I'm doing that? Because you want to create, it's a really nice effect. Go all the way around like that. Just like that. And I'll pick the flower up again. I always like to put the tool under it because it's kind of delicate. See how we have the slight indentations in the center, and then I pushed in a little deeper to give it a much different texture on the outside here. The next thing that we want to do is we want to create the stem, which is this piece right here. See this green stem right here? I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to take this ball of clay here, and we can roll it on the table. See how we're doing? I'm doing this. Just like this. Just keep rolling back and forth. It's a good way to lengthen this out. Just like that. You can use both hands if you want. We'll make it a little quicker. It's almost the right length. I'm going to cut part of this off though, because it ended up being longer than I had expected. You know, we'll keep it somewhat thick. So what we're going to do is I have a little X-Acto knife here. What I'm going to do is cut it right about here. And what we're going to do is I'll just kind of see this end. I'll take my fingers and kind of round this off like that. See I'm doing that? And what we're going to do now is we will attach it to the flower. So what I'm going to do is I'll pick the flower up. We're going to attach it from behind. I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to attach the stem right there. See how I'm doing that? And then that way it'll, and kind of work that clay in on the back. That way it will stick nicely. And then I'm going to place that flat on the table again and press that down. You know, I use them, I just want to tap this a little bit, making sure that, because with my hands I did damage some of it. So now you can see, I'll pick that up a little more. See how that is? What we're going to do next is we want to make the leaves, or the leaves. We have two, one here and one here. And I'll show you how to make that particular shape. What we're going to do is take the ball of clay, flatten it out like we did the last time. See how we're flattening, just like we did with the petals, but this time we're going to make this shape here. The leaves are a little sharper, so we're going to make a nice, see how I'm making that nice little point? That's what it will look like from that angle. But we'll just work that like that. Just like that. Yeah, so I'll make that. Just like that. See how beautiful those leaves are? Now, the next thing that we want to do is I want to take a toothpick and we're going to go right down the center. So I'll start from up there. See this right here? Going to go down just like that. And then what we're going to do is, now that we've made that, I want to make lines in this manner. Let's see. See how I'm doing that? We draw these nice little lines. Makes it look like a leaf. And then I'm going to flip it over and do it from the other side. See that there? I'm going to take that. Do that. Just like that. See how nice that looks? See the nice lines? And we're going to do that with the second leaf. I'll quickly show you again, quickly. See, I'm flattening that out. Just like that. See, I'm making that nice point. Gives your hands a very good workout when you do this. That. See how I'm making that shape again? Just like that. See how I make it nice and flat? We got the shape that we want. And we do the exact same thing again. We take this, start from up here, bring the line right down like the center there. And then we're going to make the lines. So I'm going to flip that over. See how I'm doing that? Just like that. It gives it a really nice effect. And then I'm going to flip this over. And then we're going to do it from the other side. Just like that. And then what we want to do, now that we have those left, or we've done them, I want to get a little more clay we'll use the stem that we were using before. I'm going to break a couple of pieces off of it. Piece like that, and a piece like this. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put these down on the table again, and I'll just roll this a little bit like that. And I'll do the same. I'm going to add a little more clay to this one. And I'll roll this one. Just like that. We got them both done. And what I want to do now is attach it to the leaf. So I'm going to take, see this? We're going to take this, attach it to the leaf like this. And then what I want to do is go around. See, I'm spinning this around. I want to make sure that we've attached it from all sides. See how that is? And we'll do the same with the other one. I'm going to take this piece of clay. I'm going to attach it to the leaf like that. See that? Just like that. And then we're going to take the toothpick and go like that. Just like that. And go all the way around. The next thing that we want to do is I want to put this in the center of the paper again. That way you can see what I'm doing. We'll take my tool. I want to lift this. Just move it a little bit over here. And what we want to do is take these leaves now. We want to attach them. See how I'm doing this? I'm going to attach from this side. So you take and work that clay in like that. And then you also want to get from behind here and attach it from that side. And then we'll take and we'll attach this leaf over here. See that? And you squeeze like that to get them so they're like that. And then I'll show you, I'll pick this up so you can see it now. See how beautiful that looks? And now it's ready for firing in the oven. And now that we've fired the sunflower in the oven, it is now ready for painting. And I'll show you the types of paints that we will use tonight. There's acrylic paints. There's about 18 in this package, which can be bought in the art store. And these are the ones we'll be using tonight. We have a few colors. We have green for the stem and the flower, the branches or the leaves. We have yellow for the sunflower itself. And then I want to use brown. And it looks like that's what we have for the three colors that we basically need tonight. I'll show you what types of paintbrushes we'll be using. I want to use this one that's nice and wide. So we can use that for both the stem and the flower itself. We'll use some smaller brushes. Get a couple like this. That way, because there's some areas that I have to paint the brown around the center of the flower and some green. So we'll proceed to use those. The first thing that we will do is we'll use yellow. We're going to undo that, pull that, and we'll take this one. And we'll take, and what we want to do is I want to paint the petals for the flower. Just go back and forth. See that? Back and forth. Do that. back and forth, just like that. See how I'm doing that? And if you want, you can always give it a second coat after this if you want it a little darker. We're going to do that, just like that, back and forth. Get the one that's down here. See that? And then we'll do these here, back and forth. See how we're doing that? And what you're going to do is going to proceed to paint the petals all the way around like that. And then I'll show you, we also want to paint another area with the yellow right about here. I'm going to paint like that. See how I'm doing that? On the outer edge. There, like that, near the petals. And we'll do that. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to paint green. So what we're going to do, so we'll actually use a couple of different brushes. We're going to be using one of the smaller brushes for this to start. Here's the green. What I'm trying to do is there's a little piece of plastic you pull up, then you pull, because these are brand new containers of paint. We're going to take the green now. I'm going to pick this up again, and I'll show you right here. We want to dab this and do this green. See how I'm doing that? Just like that. So we just basically want to make a circle. Go like that. See, I'm going around. We can go over a little bit of the yellow that we did. See how nice that looks? Yeah, if it's not perfect, that's okay. We just want to get that in the center. And the other part of the green that we're going to do is we're going to paint the leaves and the stem. But I'm going to use the other brush that we originally started with, the big one. And we'll use that. See, so now we'll do the leaves. See I'm doing this? Back and forth, just like that. See how I'm doing that? Just like that. Then we want to get the underside. And then we also want to paint, see this part here? You want to paint that. And then we could flip it over or go from behind. If we actually want to we can paint the back with the green. Just like that, back and forth. And then we want to paint here. And we'll do this side here. See, I'm doing that. Back and forth, back and forth. And like I said, we can flip this around, and if you want to do the back, you can. I'm not going to paint the whole thing in the back, but you can paint that whole area there. And then we'll paint the stem. See how we're doing that? And you're going to paint it all the way down. I'm just going to paint about here because I need some place to hold it, but you'll complete that whole area in the green. And now I'll show you what the final sunflower will look like painted. This is what the final version will look like. See how we painted all the petals for the flower? I just remembered something. There's one more color we want to add. I need to do brown here, and I'll definitely add that. Let me show you how to quickly do that before we end. I just realized that I hadn't painted that when I was looking at it, so that now we just have to add it. We're going to just kind of slightly touch this, just kind of brush it in a little bit like that. See, like that? Just ever so slightly touch it, like that. You're going to go all the way around in that manner. See how I'm doing that? Because you still want some of the yellow to show through. Just like that. And go around. See how we did that? Just dab it a little bit. And now I'll show you the final version. We do have all the paints now. You can see the beautiful yellow petals with the yellow paint. And you can see how, remember how I went around the center here with the yellow? And then you go over it, just dab it a little bit with the brown. You have the green center here. And you also have the green stem. And that's what your final version of the sunflower will look like. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay. And I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.